Hello everyone. I'm gonna jump right in because it is omnipresent in our society and because whether in social interactions or in the professional work environment, it is absolutely everywhere and it has been officially recognized as a pathology that our society is severely suffering from. The need for recognition. You can find, I think, other words like other phrasings like the need for external validation, the need for appreciation, the need for approval, attention. All of this is kind of circling around the same thing, which is to me the need for external recognition is really what it is for me. Why? Because contrary to need of validation where you just need people to approve what you're doing, to say okay, you have the right to do that, it's okay, the need for recognition is very different. It is the need to prove something to the world. You need people to say, good job, congratulations, you did a good job. And this is coming from two main sources. The first one, obviously, your childhood and your education, your parents, the dynamic of failing, the support that you had as a kid, the attention that you got, and the kind of support that you got growing up. I know that personally, whether I was deeply lacking attention from my parents because they really were not into me, they were not really paying attention to what I was doing, what I was accomplishing. So I really felt like I was not important, like I was not good enough, never good enough, or I was not worth anything. Let's be honest, this is really the main source of this. Parents never really congratulating you, making you feel like what you did was great, congratulations, I'm proud of you. Or parents always putting you down like this is never good enough. Whatever you do, you could have done better, you could have done better, you could have done better, this is not good enough, this is not good enough. So whether very deep lack of attention, so whatever you're showing them, they don't seem to care, but they seem to care about other things, but never what you're showing them, or whatever you're showing them, it's never good enough. You can do better than that. This is going to create a deep need for recognition growing up. The second source of this pathology is society. Of course, we live in a society that is really based, that is rooted in ego. We live in a society where competition is really normalized. People are compared to one another all the time, starting early at school where you get rewarded and the others clearly feel like we are constantly put in positions where we are compared to one another, we are in competition with one another, with exams, with the rewarding system. Everything is a competition, but not in a healthy way. Everything is about there is a winner and there is a loser. And the winner is really praised, rewarded, and the loser, it's really embarrassing and failed. That's wrong. So this is obviously going to bring in us this need to reach that state where you get rewarded, because from the earliest age you are told that being there is what you want. We live in a society that is telling you what you want as officially what you should want as a person in any ways regarding your career, what kind of job is a respectful and successful job. There is an idea of success. There is an idea of success in a job, in relationship. What is a successful relationship? What it is supposed to look like? What kind of person you should date to feel like you've made it, like you are a successful person, you know, and what kind of relationship as well, and what kind of friends you should hang out with. So basically, we live in a society that is imposing you, that is telling you you want to date someone that looks like this because this is hot and this is not. This is successful. You want a job that looks like this because this is hot, this is successful. We live in a society that is really telling you constantly what you want and how to reach that state to be a successful person. If you don't, then you're a loser. Obviously, this is going to trigger this need for recognition, let alone if you already grew up in a family that never met your need to be, congratulated, supported for every little achievement that you made. You never received this, wow, I'm so proud of you. you never receive that, this is going to grow this need for recognition that is going to materialize in your adulthood in several of different ways that is leading you in your life, and you need to let go of that. This is so urgent. So I repeat, the need for recognition is really the need to prove something to the world. You need to prove people that you can do. It's really, look, see, I can do this thing that you thought I could never do. It can be in dating. I want to date that kind of person because I want to prove to people that I can be successful, that I can have that. This is a need for recognition, external recognition. I want to have this job absolutely no matter what, because I need to show people that I can do this, that I am worthy. I am worthy. You need to prove that you are worthy, but you don't have to prove this to anyone because you are worthy. Know that you are worthy, you are good enough. And I highly, highly, highly recommend digging deeper where it's coming from. I had to do it for myself because I have lived in a life where I was led by this need for external validation and recognition. I really needed to prove to my family that I was good enough. But according to their definition of success and what was good enough. So I did a job that I hated, I did studies that I didn't really enjoy because I needed people to validate me. I just needed to fit in. I needed to feel like I was good enough. I can be like you guys. I want to do that kind of job, even if I hated it. And how many people are in this situation, let's be honest. You can even go further as dating a certain profile of person, thinking this is the kind of person I should date to be successful. This is the kind of person successful people date. This is the kind of person I should date, without even asking yourself, what do you really want? This is the only thing that matters. That's why I wanted to make this video, because this is absolutely everywhere. A lot of us are living through other people's expectation unconsciously, but because they really want to prove something to the world, to the system, to society, to their parents, their relative in general. You are unconsciously living for them. You are unconsciously trying to prove something to them. You have to recenter and ask yourself, what do I want? Why? Because you are the most important person of your life. Yes, you are the most important person of your life, no one else. I hope this is clear for you. Okay? You're gonna just die one day, so you really might want to live your life for yourself. This is important. You don't have anything to prove to anyone. But more importantly, you can really, do this job and working on your childhood trauma and wounds, because this is always, of course, starting point of healing, and make your inner child deeply understand that you are enough, that you are worthy, and heal this wound left by whoever didn't give you the right attention, didn't support you, that made you feel like you were not good enough and you were going to have to do so much to prove to people that you matter, that you have the right to exist, or anything else. You really have to understand that this is related to childhood trauma, and let alone in a society we live in that is pushing this button every day by putting us in competition with one another. You have to deeply understand that you are worthy, and more importantly, you don't have to explain yourself or to prove anything to anyone, okay? So please don't get lost in this society's expectation and how it's so good at, making you feel like, oh, you're doing that? That's not very, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to constantly refocus on what you really want. Especially in times like this, I think you can understand what I'm trying to say. This is so important to refocus on what you truly, truly, truly crave in a relationship. As a person, go over your standards. I made a video about intentions and also having standards, criteria when it comes to dating, social interaction, when it comes to career. You have to be really clear on what you want and be honest with yourself. Disconnect from anyone's expectations, anyone's idea of success. You have to understand that if what you truly crave inside of you, but you won't admit it to yourself, is to open a school and work with orphan kids and you grew up in a family where everyone was telling you that you should be a lawyer or you should be a doctor, like this is fancy, you should do something fancy like this, but when you really create something so simple and has nothing to do with this, you have to live by your own rules. This is also very potent in the everyday life when you talk to other people and you unconsciously don't realize that you're trying to prove something to them because whatever, they didn't have a very surprised reaction because you told them you were doing that kind of job or you were dating that kind of person, and you expect people, you have to let go of expectations, you have to let go of wanting people. You have to understand that people are not your parents. You have to let go of wanting people to applaud you, to tell you, congratulations, you did a good job, that's great, I'm proud of you. You have to be aware, self-aware of that behavior and entirely live for yourself and be completely fine living for yourself. When you talk to people in general and people sometimes, don't have any type of reaction, I notice that sometimes people tend to really, they want to prove something to me because I'm not reacting to what they said, and they start really falling into this very toxic pattern that is to try to impress me, desperately impress me. You have to really develop self-awareness around this. You don't have to impress anyone. You have nothing to prove to anyone. Try to sit with yourself and deeply dig deeper to understand where is it coming from, where exactly, what kind of event happened to me that made me feel like I had to prove something to other people, that I have to impress them so that they can finally tell me you did a good job. This is really this need of external recognition, is really that appreciation, need for other people to really congratulate you, tell you that you have value, that you're worthy. This is so deep. This is such a deep wound that so many of us have, and it is totally okay. And I really hope that you will develop more self-awareness around that and do the work on this. But yeah, be aware of it is really the most important thing, because apart from being very toxic for other people to really have someone desperately trying to prove something to you, it is more importantly such a waste of time and energy for you. You have to refocus on your life. You have to understand that you are the most important person of your life. Only what you want matters. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter at all, because we only have one life, okay? So I just wanted to make this short video to really go over that, because I see this everywhere and I haven't seen it addressed a lot on YouTube, so I wanted to bring this up. So I hope it helps you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.